Hey everyone, Stacks here, checking out Absolute Carnage number 4, Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, and way underrated, not enough people are talking about Frank Martin. Because I tell you what, he's doing a great job taking these insane Ryan Stegman pencils and turning them into beautifully colored masterpieces, man. The color on this is way underrated. And when I asked him, hey, where do you even start on something like this? He just cool and calm, man. You start on the faces and everything else falls into place. So really cool dude, at least interacting with me on Twitter at comic_stack. So you guys come check me out and follow me. I try to stay not political at all on Twitter. So all right, something else to cover is there's a couple tie-ins that are fitting into the timeline here a little weird that I'll let you know about. Absolute Carnage Avengers number 1. This actually happened prior to Carnage showing up and the Avengers. It was basically when Spider-Man was going to get all the other heroes. It also deals with Hawkeye eliminating a secondary threat in San Francisco. So it's worth checking out. It wasn't bad. The art was serviceable, but it's worth picking up. The other one that is kind of messed up in this timeline is Amazing Spider-Man number 30 and 31, because it actually happens kind of during but at the end of this issue, so it's a little bit confusing. All these different storylines and tie-ins were not pulled off seamlessly, I would say, but they weren't pulled off poorly either. So the tie-in without fault can cast the first stone. I don't know. But finally, back to the main title, back to Absolute Carnage number 4. At the end of number 3, of course, we had the Venom symbiote taking over Bruce Banner and hulking out, having the Venomized Hulk, and we were just ready to watch Carnage just get absolutely pounded into red sludge. Now, while that is exactly what is happening, unfortunately, Carnage is having way too good of a time while this is happening. I mean, he's getting Venom smashed, and he's sitting there just laughing and screaming, yes! But while the Hulk is serving as a distraction and fighting with Carnage, Eddie Brock, Spider-Man, Dylan Brock, and Normie Osborn are using that opportunity to break contact, and they head down to Max's armory, basically his arms room. And what you have right here is an example in this dialogue of why Donny Cates is quickly becoming one of the top writers at Marvel, if he isn't already. Chip Zdarsky would probably disagree with him. But what he's sitting here talking about doing is he's gearing up. He's like, look, we have some equipment. I'm heading back out there. I can't protect them, Pete. I'm useless in here. At least out there, I can make sure they don't kill the Avengers while they're sleeping. And Eddie looks over at Peter and tells him, look, you're all I have. Please, for whatever reason, whatever I've been to you over the years, just do this for me. Promise me. And Peter stops him and says, okay, yeah. As long as I'm standing, nothing gets to those boys. You have my word. So Eddie starts gearing up and says, look, good. How much time? I'm going to need some backup. How much longer before those pods are done? And Spidey tells him about 10 minutes. But even so, even if they pop out, they're going to be pretty banged up from it. And Eddie looks down as he's gearing up and says, got it. 10 minutes. He throws on this arm cannon, grabs Captain America's shield, and says, I can pretend to be a hero for 10 minutes. And with that, he's just a man with a shield and an arm cannon, and he's going out and he's fighting this horde of Carnage symbiotes. No symbiote, no armor, outnumbered, and the universe just somehow put him as the guy left standing right now. And he just says, I gotta take a cue from Pete back there. If I go down swinging. And right at that point, he spots Miles Morales. Back outside, Carnage has started to fight back, and he has actually dropped Venom Hulk to his knees. And as he's sitting there talking trash, the Hulk reaches up, grabs his lower jaw, stands up, starts ripping his head open. But when he does, these tendrils come out and basically burrow into his brain. And you have Carnage saying, you want to know, you think you're crazy? Let me show you what crazy is. Back inside, Eddie is still trying to buy time, but Miles Morales is all over him. And in that moment, Eddie's like, look, right now, somebody else would probably give you talk you down right now, say, hey, you're still in there, so come on, pull out of it. I ain't that guy. One time, you brought me out of it, and you saved me with something you called a Venom blast, and I'm about to return the favor. And he does, too. He puts that blaster right up underneath the shield, pulls the trigger, and it absolutely fries Miles Morales and blows all that freaking Carnage stuff off of. Not only that, but the blast from it drops all the other Carnage symbiotes to their knees. Now this part right here is really important because Miles was connected to the hive mind, and so he knows what Carnage is up to. But if you remember back to Separation Anxiety and the Venom series, the Maker was infected by all of those symbiotes who are also connected to the hive mind, so they know what the Maker was doing. And surprise, surprise, the Maker was not destroying those symbiotes. Instead, he was collecting them. But Miles tells him, look, he gets stronger with every codex, and if he gets the Hulk codex, if he gets Venom, he's going to be unstoppable. And when we go back, Carnage has defeated the Hulk. And just as Eddie and Miles come around the corner, they're just in time to see Carnage rip the Venom symbiote off of Bruce Banner and merge with it. And what he becomes is absolutely terrifying. And after watching this, the only thing that Eddie can feel is just a complete loss of hope. But in that moment, he has a hand come on his shoulder and say, "You did a good job, Eddie. Can I have that?" And as Captain America, Wolverine, and the Thing just go all out at this new devil Carnage, Eddie can't help but think to himself, I keep forgetting I'm not alone. And it's at this point that Eddie finally notices that the Carnage doppelgangers are still going after the machine, and Miles tells him, of course they are. Like I was saying, they don't, the Maker hasn't been destroying the codices. They don't get burned up. They're stored there. He's collecting them. And in that moment, Eddie can feel it. He says, and just like that, I felt it. Above the pounding heart of Spider-Man, below me, putting his life on the line to protect the innocent, to protect my son, through the endless demons clawing their way out of the shadows from the past. I could feel it rising in the air, cutting through the screams of a carnage-born god, sending ripples of electricity through my codex-laden spine, boiling just below the surface, aching to get out. For the first time in a very long time, I feel it. Hope. And Eddie just punches, as the Avengers have fallen, they're done. He punches his hand right into the side of this thing, sees the symbiote, and just jams his hand in there. And as this symbiote takes him, he says he can sit there, he can hear and feel Captain America's voice barking orders and war strategies, Wolverine's rage igniting his blood. He can see through Hawkeye's diamond scalpel eyes, the Thing's ungodly strength turning his muscles to stone. They all melt together inside of one man, and those many voices becoming one. And the power, not like anything he's ever felt before. Something new, something better. Because we're stronger when we're together. And together, we are Venom. And he takes off after this devil Carnage. And I'll tell you, Absolute Carnage has been absolutely great. This issue was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it had two really, really amazing moments. The first one to me was the Eddie Brock gearing up moment and saying, I can pretend to be a hero for 10 minutes. And this one got me on a couple levels because, first of all, Eddie Brock, being the guy who has made mistakes, who has had his faults in the past, but has tried to right that. And in this moment, just that whole idea that I'm not good enough, my mistakes that I've made, I could never, be good enough now because of my past. I know I've made mistakes in my past, and heaven forbid any of us be judged by the worst mistake we've ever made. But it ties directly to the second moment that really got to me on this one, and that was the moment when Eddie Brock, he loses hope, and then when he realizes that there's a way, and that hope sparks again. And that really got me too, where he sees it, he goes for it, and doesn't hesitate. And like I said, both those are very much tied together. The fact that our mistakes in our life lead us to a position where we have no hope sometimes, or we feel like we have no hope, but it's there somewhere. And when it's presented, we got to jump at it. And I'm not trying to get too preachy or anything here, but I mean those moments really resonated to me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely recommend Absolute Carnage number 4. Definitely, of course, going to be picking up number 5, trying to do a video on it. It will not take priority probably over the X-Men videos. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Love the book. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, and Frank Martin all deserve big thumbs up on this. And hey guys, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notification. That way you can hop on quick. I try to answer questions as I go throughout the day, but I typically stick around for about an hour after a video post, and we'll answer comments and stuff right away. And then, of course, I mentioned it earlier. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, I'm on there, comic_stacks. Mostly on Twitter, I just talk comic book stuff, and on Instagram, I mostly just paste my my comic hauls and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Real Comic Stacks out.